Oscar Bevis for the Stomping Ground, powered by Wow Hydrate and available on his own. Joe Parker is in the house. Joe, appreciate you giving me
all good.
Some of your time. How's things?
You know what? Things are great. Things are very good.
Yeah. Obviously, we had the Ring Magazine Awards on Saturday. I saw you walking the red carpet with Andy. I don't know if you're much of a pitch man, but I saw you got a cheeky one with Canelo. Just so many stars around. How good was Saturday night?
You look around and you see all the stars, right? Past and present. It's just so good to see everyone come together to celebrate the Ring Magazine and the awards.
Yeah. Is there any chats you can tell us about with you and some legends, or any secrets to be spilled?
Not really, just a quick hello, how are you? Good to see you. Oh, great to meet you. And it was just good. It was good to be there, you know, and just be amongst it all.
Yeah, I feel like every big name, or near enough every big name from the world of boxing, was under the roof that night. Right, Daniel Dubois, I was there when you two met in the hotel in Riyadh. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can't imagine we're going to get too much bad blood between you two. It all seemed pretty respectful.
Listen, we don't really have a lot to say, the both of us. Probably I say a little bit more than he does, but it's always respectful before the fight. And once you're in the ring, it's a different story. We want to bash each other up and win.
I mean, it was a fight you were banging the drum about prior to it being announced. Even prior to Daniel beating Anthony, you were very vocal in saying, look, the winner of that fight is someone that I want. So you've had your eye on both of those guys prior to the fight, and you've had your eye on Daniel for a while as well?
Yeah, Daniel was one of those opponents where, I mean, he's done very well. Miller, Hergovich and Joshua. And we didn't know who was going to win the fight at the time. I thought Joshua was going to win, but he proved me and a lot of people wrong and put on one of the best performances of his life. And we've been waiting for a big fight for a long time, myself, Andy and George. And now that we've locked it in, we can say we are preparing very well for this challenge in front of us, fighting for the championship of the world and fighting the champion of the world, Daniel Dubois.
Yeah. One bit you done on the red carpet with one of our guys, Uni, the other night, you said specifically that you felt like Dubois was overlooking you in this fight. What gives you that impression?
Well, if you jump in the ring and call out another fighter, you know, after the Usyk and Fury fight, it's a big sign that you're overlooking the fight that's in front of you. But I know they're planning ahead and they want the big fights down the line, but you have to really focus on what's in front of you.
Yeah. What did you make of his breaking and entering?
Honestly, that's, you know, it was him and his team that probably orchestrated him getting into the ring and calling out Usyk and trying to set that up. You know, it's a fight that Turkey wants to see and Frank Warren wants to see. So, but we're here to, you know, I'm here to spoil the party.
Yeah. Did you see it as a sign of disrespect towards Usyk, who obviously he's just had a fantastic second win over Tyson Fury, stands there as champion, and his moment in the ring's been interrupted a bit? Did you sense a bit of disrespect, or is everything different when you're kind of in the moment?
When you're in the moment, it's different. And I guess with Usyk, I mean, for him, it was just celebrating that win over Tyson and retaining the belts. And maybe it could have been the wrong time or could have been the right time. Who knows? Yeah. It's the way that you look at it.
Yeah, I know obviously Daniel gets asked quite a lot of questions about Usyk, about the potential Joshua rematch. I know you think that he's overlooking you, yes, but is there also a side to it where, you know, like I said, the media are throwing quite regular questions at Daniel? I mean, how many times would he have been asked about Anthony Joshua over the last few months? It seems like the media are pushing a lot of questions.
Yeah, it could be Daniel, it could be the media, but I think it's a great thing because we're just quietly working away, focused on what's in front of us, and that's February 22, Daniel Dubois.
I know you said you thought Wilder was overlooking you too. Why do you think you might get overlooked in these situations?
We're not supposed to be winning these fights. We're not supposed to be winning these fights. There's other
fights.
There's other fights being lined up to happen, and you know, probably just being chucked in there as an opponent. You know.
What sort of fight do we get between you and Daniel stylistically?
He's aggressive. He comes forward. I can be aggressive myself. I can also box on the back foot. It just depends on what game plan Andy Lee comes up with. We've started the sparring phase and we are implementing things that we're working on. But when time goes on in training camp, I'm going to have a better understanding of what Andy really wants going into the fight and what I'm going to execute.
Yeah. I know you're not going to look into my lens and kind of give too much away, but in terms of Daniel's ability, bar his big punching power, which, you know, is clear to see, what do you rate and what do you respect about Daniel? Is there a boxing ability that perhaps doesn't get the credit because you've got a man who hits
Daniel's
hard?
got a good jab. He's got a good jab. He boxes. He boxes well, and he fights hard, and he possesses power, and he wouldn't be in this position if he wasn't a good fighter.
Yeah. If you are to win and become two-time world champion, it would be such a brilliant story. The run, Wilder, Zhang, Daniel Dubois. Do you take time to look back? I know boxing's kind of its own bubble and things run at 100 miles an hour. But do you take time to look back, and if you're to win the world title, will you sit there and just kind of reflect on what's been not just a crazy 18 months and career turnaround, but a crazy 5 or 6 years for you?
You know, win this fight, and it's about enjoying time with the team, family, and really appreciating the position we're in. You know, champion of the world, come past February 22 with a win, and then look at what's next. You can't really sit on or relish the moment too long. You know, there's always more fights to be made and bigger fights to be involved in, and give it everything while we're still in the sport.
Yeah. Final one, just talking about the team. Andy Lee is just over there, was nominated for Trainer of the Year. Disappointed from your side that he didn't get Trainer of the Year? I know a lot of us guys were kind of pushing and believing that Andy might be the one to be picking up that award on Saturday night.
It's I think speak for Andy, I think it's just great to be mentioned in these conversations. He's done a great job with myself and Paddy Donovan and all the other fighters that are fighting in the gym or training in the gym, and he will get it very soon. Once he becomes two-time world champion, and you know, keep progressing, and once Paddy wins his fight on the 1st of March, then he's going to be in the conversation even more.